Guys, Mike Ronaldo here. So this video is going to be pretty short, mostly going to be like me talking to you and not like most of the videos I usually make out, with lots of interactions, like meeting the Chinese and getting some public places. So this video, I'm going to talk more about the present political situation between the US and China. And as you know, I am not a political guy. I'm not involved in politics, and it's not even allowed to talk about politics here in China. But just the fact that some of my viewers, some of my fans, like kind of ask me about this issue, about this topic, and I just feel like, well, maybe like just to talk about like how it's been affecting the lives of the locals here, and myself involved as someone who is also involved in international trade. I'm gonna like stick around until this part, but for the political reasons, why this is happening, and if this should be happening or not, I'm not gonna get much involved. I know that the Chinese government is very, very peaceful, and I know that China has always been a very peaceful country as much as I've been living here. And I think that by all means, the government, the country is looking for every possible means to solve these issues of importation, the taxes, the tariffs. But before this is going to be like sorted out, in recent times there's been a whole lot of depreciation of money, like things that money actually used to buy here in China. It's becoming more hectic. Like usually here we always do purchases of stuff online, like buying clothes, be it buying clothes or like household things that you need. But now, like things that usually cost like 100 yuan, like now they would cost like 200 yuan. And there is still pretty cheap things here in China. You can buy clothes of even like 30 yuan, which is just like a few dollars. But of course, you know what you're expecting in terms of the quality. But overall, things that usually cost like 200 yuan, they used to be very good quality. But in the recent times, it's like bullshit. It's like all crap. Recently, it's been very difficult for me buying things online and receiving things that I actually like, because by the time I receive them, it is always just like crap. The quality is just so bad. And well, so I think this is one way that this crisis is affecting life here, especially if those who buy things online. And so this is one thing that has been that has to be taken care of. That lots of other Chinese factories are closing up because they cannot like keep inventory. They cannot afford like the rents, the payments, like paying workers and all of that. So it has actually made it more difficult for us who buy things online, because like most sellers now, they just have to they have transitioned to like the kind of sales that you're pretty much used to, like the eBays, like the Shopify, like prints on demand, because they don't have to keep inventory. Like they just list products from the suppliers online, and when people like place an order, then the suppliers would just like take care of the shipments and do all the handling, and then they can get a commission on top of the overall cost of the product. So, and because of that, it is also like increase the length of time of receiving products. Before, China usually had a very, very fast shipping method, and it still does actually, but we usually buy things online before and receive them in about 2 days, like the next day. But now it is sometimes it would take like a week, like 2 weeks, and sometimes it might even take like 1 month before you can actually receive some products that you buy online. And that is just because the factories, that's just because the sellers, they do not have their own inventory. They just depend on the suppliers. So after the products has been purchased on their store, then they would send the order to the supplier, So all of that is going to actually take a lot of time. And so this, I somehow hope that this is not going to take so long to be sorted out. In the recent times, I've also spoken to a lot of Chinese, because sometimes I go out to make videos and then I just like sit with the locals, and then we have this kind of topics. And I also realized that it has been very difficult for the locals to actually spend money in the recent years, in the recent times. I think maybe it's partly because of the COVID that just hit the world in the recent few years, but uh, I think there is also some other reasons behind it, because people don't feel comfortable spending money in China no more like they used to do. Now, the Chinese usually be very, very easy to spend money, especially like during public holidays, because there is tons of public holidays in China. And during public holidays, like the streets are always so full, like everywhere, the hometowns, even the big cities sometimes. Like, but now usually like people don't spend so much money like they used to do. And that is even why the Chinese government is actually encouraging people to buy new things. Like now in China, if you want to purchase a new car, and let's say you still have the old car you used to have, so what the government does is that the government is going to give you some subsidies, like just to encourage you to spend that extra money, like purchase the car. And this way it's actually going to like make the economy to have more money, like turning around, like people can do things. Like last week I was going to purchase a new refrigerator, and when I got there I was told that the government, because the government is encouraging people to spend money because people are not spending that much anymore. So I was told that you can actually bring the old refrigerator that you used to have, and the government is going to take that, and then the government is going to give you like some extra money to help you like buy the refrigerator that you want to buy. And it's the same thing for most of the other things, because even when I went to buy this car, I was told that you can actually get deduction, and that is going to be straight from the country, from the government. And that is just because they want to encourage you to actually like spend money to buy things. And but the locals, they have become more tight in spending money in recent times, very, very tight. Like people don't even like spend so much money eating out, like especially places like the clubs, the bars, and the cinemas, things that people can choose to do or not to do. So in those kind of industries now, people aren't spending that much. So it's somehow affecting life a lot here. And I don't know about how much this crisis, uh these trade issues between China and the United States is affecting the life of the people back there in the United States. So if in any case this somehow applies to you, maybe you can just share with us, like just comment below and tell us how life has been there. Like, are you getting some positive results, or is it even helping you to expand more in your businesses? Real estate in China used to be, I think, one of the main source of the government, the country's revenue, because of that huge population. China now has a population of over 1.4 billion people. So, and because most, like in the cities, like people do not like build houses, they just buy apartments. So this has been one of the main sources of income for like lots of companies, even the country. But in the recent years, like from last year, from the beginning of last year, like people are not buying houses anymore. And this is very, like, it's very it has a lot to do with Chinese culture, because when every adult, when they want to start a family, like a man wants to marry a woman, or a woman's gonna get married, the first thing they care about is a house or an apartment, where to live, where's the family gonna live. So this has been always an issue here in China. But in the recent year, people are not buying houses because they can't even afford. And now the houses, like apartments here, the costs have like gone down like at about 20-30% rate. Like houses that usually cost like 1 million yuan, they will just cost like 600,000, and it's even difficult to sell it out. So these issues have been they have been roaming in the recent times, and the issue with Trump and the tariffs is not helping. That's also because it is it is like killing what yuan usually do. What the value of yuan is no more that good. I don't know about dollars, but I see that the value of dollar is still maintaining, but um well, I don't know much about this, like maybe you guys would even give me more hint, or if it's something that I am missing, I'm probably missing some point. So that's gonna be your responsibility to say, hey Mike, this is actually what's going on here in the United States, and this is how this issue between China and the United States is affecting the lives of the locals here. So I'll be really willing to know more about that. This method of money transfer that we've been using here in China for the past year, we call it a swap. So a swap basically means that if I want to send money back to Cameroon, as an example, I don't have to go to the bank and pay all those fees, taxes, all those cut deductions. I don't have to go over that way. I just find some people back in Cameroon who also want to send money to China, probably to buy things or to buy products. So we just do the exchange. It's just like I have corn, and then you have beans, and then we just do the exchange, in terms of the value. And in the recent times, I think that was from the beginning of last month. Man, there has been over a 20% increase in the overall money that I have to pay. So which means that if I was giving out like 10,000 yuan to get like 20,000 in terms of Cameroon's currency. Now, at the same rate, for that same amount, I have to now pay about 13,000 yuan to get the same value in terms of the franc CFA. So, which means I am running at about like a 20% increase to a 30%, and I see these numbers are kind of escalating. Like every day when I wake up, I'll just like watch the news and what is happening in terms of the trade war between China and the United States, and I see that, man, whenever the numbers go up, it's really frightening. It's really frightening. And also, like, life is becoming more hard, like more difficult. And of course that is not for everybody, because I know there is always people that always have the knowledge to use these kind of opportunities to make a better life for themselves. But well, in the recent times, like myself, Nice, my wife, and our baby, like we just want to take things like very cautiously. We don't spend that much no more, because we don't know like how things are going to escalate, and also we're preparing for our future and the future of our baby. So I kind of look into these issues because it's kind of affecting life for all of us too. Overall, I know that US and China are always very tough countries, and my biggest hope is that they get back to this good relationship where both countries have their own interest. And I know that it is going to happen, but maybe it's a matter of time. And I know that both leaders are like thinking about ways to like have this phone call probably, or maybe this text message, or maybe just like come around, and talk things over, because maybe after that is being done, it's going to help the life here in China, and probably the life in the United States too. And I also like the fact that iShowSpeed has been in China in the recent times, and actually he kind of like gave a good perception of China to the world, and also made China to see that foreigners, like especially black people, are also to something good. Like I think that the internet is just so fast, changing things, and information. And US is a country that the Chinese actually like a lot. Pretty much, I think that most of the Chinese are actually so obsessed with this country, the United States. It's a great nation, and of course, and China is a great nation too, and very, very powerful. So my biggest hope is that both countries, like, they get along pretty well, and then that this trade war is going to be fixed, it's going to be solved in no time. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure to update me with the life in the United States in the recent times. How is this trade war affecting your life, your lifestyle, and your family? So I'll see you in my next video, and stay tuned to Black in China videos.